Greetings and happy Monday, everyone. I'm your host, Dr. Mallory D. McCoy, and welcome to this week's episode of A Monday Moment with Dr. Mal. As always, may this broadcast bring you what you need in the present moment. May my light exude positivity and kindness, and may my love be extended to all who could use a little extra. Ashe. Let's seize the moment. Today's show is titled, Can Love Survive the Plant-Based Switch? This is one of a series of shows highlighting the health and wellness journey, my health and wellness journey, health and wellness just in general. This is one of a series of shows highlighting health and wellness. It's vegan weary. We're still talking about plant-based dieting, but today I'm speaking to someone very, very close to me about his plant-based transition, which turned into our plant-based transition, but not at the same time. Today's topic is personal, it's real, and it's something I know a lot of couples have struggled with. And yes, we're going there today. I'm talking about what happens when one person in the relationship decides to go plant-based and the other one is still trying to figure out what to do with all those leftover ribs in the fridge. Okay, spoiler alert. My partner went plant-based first and I was not ready, okay? So we're going to dive into how that went down, the feelings we navigated through that process, and how we got to where we are today. Trust me, it has been a journey. It still is a journey. It feels like a perpetual journey and has affected not just what we inhale as far as food is concerned and what we ingest as far as food is concerned, but many other facets in our life. I love me a good definition, and I'm team facts over feelings. So let's get into it. Did you know that the number of people identifying as plant-based has grown by over 300% in the last decade? Yep, folks are certainly making the switch. And according to a study by the Journal of Food and Nutrition, about 25% of couples report significant relationship challenges when one partner goes plant-based and the other doesn't. That's wild, right? It's not just about food. It's about lifestyle, values, and how we connect. Let me break it down. And I say this in the recorded episode, but food is connected to emotion. It's cultural. It's how we bond. It's how we celebrate. It's how we comfort ourselves. So when one person says, I'm not eating what we've been eating for years, or comes up on some new information that challenges everything you've ever known, it can feel like a whole shift in the relationship dynamic. And that's why I'm excited to speak to my guest today.
All guest podcasts are titled What They Want You to Know, and my intention is to dive deep into the minds of experts, thought leaders, and fascinating individuals to uncover the one thing they truly want you to know about their area of expertise. I intend to unapologetically and unequivocally center the voices of people from powerful groups targeted by oppression. However, if there are other community members who can interject on the topic, they'll be invited to the cookout too.
For this week's episode, I interviewed my life partner, Raymond McCoy. We've graduated beyond calling each other husband and wife because we grew up together and we don't own each other. But we do life together, and I'm thankful for it. I'm glad that he finally agreed to be on my podcast. I've been waiting for him to move into his North Node in Leo, and I think right now he's ready to do so. I literally cannot wait for you to listen. Here's what we talked about. Hi, welcome to the podcast. I'm glad to finally get you in the room with me. Can you start by introducing yourself to my audience?
Hey audience, I'm Raymond McCoy, the other half of the wonderful Dr. Mallory McCoy. Let's see, I do everything from working, real estate, military, but more importantly, I'm a spiritual, inspiring herbalist, inspiring faster, inspiring juicer, anything that's holistic, anything that can help me in my walk on this planet.
I love that. I invited you here today to talk a little bit about your plant-based journey. And the topic of today is, can love survive the plant-based shift? And I thought that because I'm speaking about plant-based dieting for the month of January, Veganuary, that it was important for me to highlight our journey as we both shifted into the plant-based lifestyle. Oftentimes people will assume that it was me that actually shifted us into a plant-based space, but it was actually you first. So can you talk a little bit about your inspiration behind going plant-based in the first place?
Definitely. So when you say it was me that went first, it was actually inspired by you and myself too. But I had to get to a place where I saw the people around me just suffering from, diseases, whether it be the PCOS, high cholesterol, high blood pressure, and just not waking up every day and not necessarily feeling yourself. So that was definitely my story. A lot of sicknesses, a lot of prescription drugs, a lot of just waking up and not having the energy and not being able to function in life at my highest capacity. So I also was in a relationship with you, of course. And, we were a little bit younger and we were just dealing with health issues, in and out of the hospital. So, you had a procedure done. I'm not sure which one it was, and for HIPAA violations, I won't disclose that. But yeah, I was just sitting there as the procedure was going on, and I was thinking to myself, and I was like, wow, like, is this going to be my life? Am I going to be in a relationship with a woman that's, and in myself that's constantly in a state where we need the hospitals or anybody else to take care of us? In that moment, I just began to go within myself and, give thanks and praise to the Most High and say, give me the strength, give me knowledge, wisdom, and understanding that I can create a reality for me and my family where we're not reliant on hospitals, pharmaceutical drugs, and anything. And it just happened to be in the age of Aquarius where a lot of documentaries were coming out. Fat, Sick, and Nearly Dead had just came out on Netflix. Netflix had just came out. So you're talking about well over 10 years ago when this journey started. And it just happened to be in divine timing because Netflix and all these vegan documentaries were coming out. So it was perfect, man, and I appreciate all of the producers and the people that made all the documentaries because that helped me to get a chance to see insight on something different than just the American standard diet. So that I actually had mentors, right on my phone, right on the internet that I could follow, and that made it a lot easier for me. So that's how my journey started. But it was definitely out of my love for myself and also my partner that pushed me into just trying to live a more holistic lifestyle.
I appreciate that. And I'm transparent with my audience, so I don't think that it's a HIPAA violation, but I'll speak to myself. I had an exploratory laparoscopy. I was dealing with PCOS, but I also had some endometriosis that I was dealing with. And so, because of those two things, the doctor thought, and we were trying to get pregnant, the doctor thought it necessary to go in to do an exploratory laparoscopic procedure to see what was going on inside. Ultimately, he decided, without my consent, to do ovarian drilling, which is an antiquated practice. But what it did was it helped to release. So if you know anything about PCOS, it puts a barrier around the ovary so that when the eggs are trying to push through, they can't. And so he did the ovarian drilling so that the eggs would be able to push through. So I will say that it was what it was, but that wasn't actually what healed me. The plant-based diet that we transitioned to became instrumental in healing the original symptoms. So the doctor went in and he wasn't treating the condition, he was treating the symptom of the condition. And so plant-based dieting actually treated the condition. And in turn, the doctors aren't able to detect PCOS markers in my blood anymore. And I sometimes feel it if I eat too much processed sugar, or I shouldn't even say too much processed sugar. Now my body's sensitive to where I can just eat a little processed sugar and I can feel what my body felt like when it was in an insulin resistant state.
Mm-hmm.
But overall, because my diet is mostly fruits and veggies, mostly raw. I fast a lot. The diet and my lifestyle that I have adopted because of the diet has certainly helped to heal my body. And so that's very, very important to note. Do you remember when you told me that you were first going plant-based? Let me back it up because I should say that plant-based dieting wasn't the first diet that you explored.
Mm.
You've explored many diets. Anyone close to us can tell the world that you were on a journey
Yeah.
to discover.
I'm not sure. I knew and I heard from many people online and just in being in a network of communities like Facebook or Instagram that converting your partner would be a journey and not only a journey but an uphill battle. So I was nervous and I almost felt like, well, here we go. We already have issues in the relationship and just trying to learn each other. Being so young, and now I'm getting ready to throw this brand new dynamic into the relationship. And we know how people feel about their food. So I definitely felt feelings of scaredness and felt like I was alone. And so when we started, I tried to, open your mind up to the lifestyle by introducing you to the documentaries, or maybe just watching it with you and saying, maybe if she watched these documentaries, maybe, she'll feel the way that I feel. And you definitely, felt the way that I felt during the documentary, but after, not so much, because the documentaries can inspire us and give us some insight, but ultimately we're ready to be disciplined, or we're ready to take that next step and say, you know what, I'm going to find an alternative to what I'm doing. Um, it's then when you see that, hey, maybe, hey, this is not too bad. Like these alternatives are not too bad. So this is early in our journey. So, yeah, that's how it was when, was introducing it to you. It was tough. It was hard, I can't lie.
To piggyback off of what you said, I was actually just reflecting on the nature of our relationship. Our souls connected almost 20 years ago, February 2005, and we were babies. I was 20 years old, and Raymond was like 23 and a half, something like that. Anyway, we had not dealt with any type of adult anything at
Mm-hmm.
that, and we were just trying to figure each other out and trying to figure ourselves out. And Raymond, his background and my background was completely different too, so loving him from my perspective was easy, but relating to him has always been hard
Mm-hmm.
because we have different backgrounds and trying to mesh those together. So him being a sign that's mutable and constant change, Sagittarian sun, and me being very Leo. If you know anything about Leo, very fixed, and I'm a double Leo. And so it was a challenge to even introduce something new to me. Furthermore, the cognitive dissonance that we all have, well, it's happening around me, but it's not happening to me. So what's the urgency? I didn't have the same urgency that he had. He watched the videos and he was like, okay, this is the change that has to happen right now. And for me, I was like, I don't necessarily foresee that it has to happen right now. Like it's going to take some time. So our journeys didn't mirror each other, and he struggled with that. I can say from my perspective, I felt like he struggled with the fact that he was coming to me with something and saying like, hey, this is the golden ticket to change. And I wasn't receptive in a way that was as urgent as he thought it should be. And in turn, that caused a lot of conflict between us
Mm-hmm.
because, I mean, a long term conflict. This has been a perpetual cycle of conflict due to his mutable space and him, changing all the time. And me like, okay, wait a minute. I got to do some research. What does everything say about all of it? I'm researching all the sides. So we'll come back and talk about it at a later date in another episode, specifically how astrology plays into compatibility. But all of these things are factors into our journey and how we move through this particular space
Hmm.
because he's like, hey, this is supposed to help you. And I'm like, it's not that didn't want to be helped. It was, I also know how to help me too. So then I'm fighting that too. The pride and ego, or, having these ego battles and stuff like that. So
Hmm.
there was a whole lot of factors underneath just saying, hey, I'm going plant based. There's a lot of stuff that goes with that. So you did say earlier that you were scared and you felt alone. Are there any other feelings that you had because I wasn't choosing the urgency, I wasn't choosing the worry, I wasn't choosing the anxiety around this plant-based diet shift?
Yeah, I had a lot of feelings, but ultimately I knew if I was steadfast and I remained on the mission that you would come around. The thing is, I didn't know how long that would take, and so when you coming along this journey, you don't ever want to give up on the people that may not believe or may not see things like how you see it. But early on, yeah, the resentment was there only because we're in social settings, we're around our friends, we're around our family, and I'm walking a certain path, or I may be eating a black bean burger or something like that, and you're still eating, the animal products, so you kind of feel like alone. In that you start to gain resentment, so feelings of resentment, and then just on this journey when you're doing plant-based and you're alkalining your system, the feelings that you feel when you're quote unquote dealing with somebody that's alkaline versus someone that may be a little bit more acidic are real. I didn't know that during the time because I wasn't really on the alkaline frame of mind. But now that I know that the feelings I was feeling was not because it was you, it was simply because it was two different people that was vibrating on two different frequencies, one being more alkaline and one being more acidic. So that right there alone will make you pull away from a person. It's not you, it's the cellular within you that's just making you feel like it's just something is not compatible, but it's just your immune system saying that dealing with this person, whether it's a kiss, whether it's interaction, that, what I mean, they're going to transfer you bacteria, virus, parasites that can not only cause you detriment in your alkaline state, but lower your frequency also. So that's the resentment. Not only resentment mental, but there's a physical resentment too that you just pull away from the person if y'all not aligned in what you guys are consuming.
I certainly can attest to that, not only as the receiver of that energy, but even as my plant based diet journey has transitioned into more of a spiritual reason, because initially it was not that, but it has turned into that. I do struggle with even thinking about transferring or sharing any type of energy, physical energy, with anyone that does not practice a plant based diet because, as you just said, I'm treating my body and I'm nourishing my body in a way that honors my body. And so, if I am going to exchange energy with anybody else, I want them to honor their body in the same way or a similar way. But absolutely, from my perspective, I feel like your resentment was how it was because your diet then became a non negotiable.
Mm-hmm.
And because it became a non negotiable, you're like, I love this person, but also this diet that I'm choosing for myself and I want her to choose for herself is a non negotiable. Like, you have to be in this vibration in order for me to exchange energy with you. So, surprise, I went plant based. And if you're interested in the shift and how I shifted into plant based lifestyle, I have blogs and I have previous podcasts that explain that. But between you and I, let's talk about it. When I finally decided to go plant based, how did you feel?
Oh, when you actually decided to go, crazy that we weren't even in the same space. I was in the military and I was off doing a school, I think. Yeah, I think I was doing one of my schools for the military. It was bittersweet. Why you say that? Bittersweet. Because we know that knowledge is 360, and coming into the enlightenment that animal products are not to be consumed by humans is only one step of this human collective consciousness. What are you saying? Of course, I'm happy and I'm jumping. Man, I get to actually eat black bean burgers and jackfruit, freaking hot wings and vegan lasagna and all of these wonderful creations that are made by plants by all of the different vegan chefs. But there was something in me, even in that time, that was shifting to even something different. So although I was happy that you made the conversion over, I was taking what we would quote unquote call the next step. But like you said, Pisces moon, Cancer rising, we're water and we're simply flowing to whatever information that's given to us, whether I'm tapped into different gurus or holistic people online. So I'm watching, I'm constantly learning, To me, Earth is a school and the university, they call this the universe. So we're here to learn. So I wake up every day saying, what can I learn today that I didn't know yesterday? So although I was happy that you came over to the plant-based lifestyle and veganism, I understand this is only one step. So although happy, I was I was like, well, is she going to be ready for this next step, or she's going to be ready for this next step? And
Let's talk about it though, because
mm,
like you just alluded to, your astrological programming is mostly water. So you're feeling your way through the world. And my astrological programming is fire. So I'm not feeling my way through the world. I'm thinking my way through the world. It's completely different. So you never have like when you meet a goal, I mean, actually you never have a goal. I feel like my perspective, you never have a goal that you meet. It's always feel, and that makes you go anywhere. For me, it's like step, step, step. And so it's different even in how we approach our whole entire lives. So in this particular instance, we talk about plant-based dieting. You're right. It was like I was expecting like the fireworks and let's celebrate because I feel love through celebration. And you're like, no, this is only one step toward. And I'm like,
right. And
dude, like what?
right. Yeah, so that goes back to my point earlier. We have to celebrate people for every little step, baby step. Uh, a baby may not be walking, but it may be crawling. Like, oh my God, look at the baby. It's crawling. It's amazing. So we celebrate people and whatever evolution. And when the baby starts walking, it's, oh my God, the baby took his first step. And then they see, the baby's running and jumping and doing everything. So in every phase of life, try to celebrate the people, and whatever step that they're taking. But when you're in a partnership, and this person has to cook for you, they have to, share energy with you, then sometimes you praise them and you clap, and then you quickly shift over to like, let's get to work and because literally, I don't want to say your life is in their hands and your life is in their hands, but ultimately the goal, or I feel like the goal in a relationship is to come together and become one. And in that, you must have the conversations that a lot of people are not willing to have. In that, like I said, although happy, I knew that, it was a lot more steps that we got to take. And I would love to build on, the basic steps and show people how there can be a balance within yourself in that although playing with nature and cooking your foods or putting great foods together, it's also the other side of chemistry, which is the raw side where you need the enzymes and you need the live bacteria and you need everything that's going to help you. And then it's another side where you just got to simply just sit there and you just got to breathe. And it's another side where you got to pour in a lot of hydration, whether it's juice fasting or coconut water. All of these things can exist. So I heard you say something very profound in that the emotional person or the water or the feminine, divine feminine person is kind of navigating the world using emotions, which is magnetic, which is how I like to live my life, because I feel like, what is life if you can't feel? So when you hear certain stuff, whether it's in a church, whether it's in a pep rally, it makes you feel something. They're hyping you up. They're making you feel good. And in there you say, well, ooh, pastor was preaching. Ooh, that made me feel good. Yeah, because everything in life is to provoke a feeling, you know what I mean, to make you feel good. And then you've been in some place where they say, God ain't in that church because everybody's sitting there and nobody's moving. It's simply because the pastor doesn't know how to provoke the feelings of the members, you know what I mean? And in that, that's my background. That's where I come from. So in that, when I'm eating or I'm talking to my significant other, I'm trying to provoke a feeling in you to get you to feel the way that I'm feeling. But in the beautiful Leo Sagittarius world, that's very, very hard, because if you can't back it up with logic and reasoning and show me on paper and show me the clinical studies, then it's going to be an uphill battle, you know. So yeah, definitely. Oh, sorry, I'll be rambling on.
No, I love it. Don't forget Mercury and Virgo. I'm very step
Right.
by step, and all the details have to be presented. You cannot convince me either way through feelings. You have to convince me with facts. That's why I
Mm-hmm.
even say in this show, I'm team facts over feelings, and you don't ever agree with that. You was like, ugh, I
No.
hate that you say that. But that's just how I roll. I am team facts over feelings. That don't mean everybody else has to be. And so anyway, that is, I'm glad that you said that, and I'm actually glad that we're having this conversation.
Mm-hmm.
We're in the same house, we're just in different rooms. I'm glad that you said that, because I think I I think that our lives have, and maybe our life trajectory, and we've talked about this privately, but our life trajectory has changed a little bit, because even like you said, I believe couples or people in relationships should be one. I don't
Mm-hmm.
believe they should be one. I think they should complement each other. They should ebb and flow each other. So
Mm-hmm.
there's some things you're going to be good at that I'm not good at. I'm going to rely on you to do those things, and vice versa. And for the note, I do cook, but I am not the cook. Raymond is actually a fabulous chef. The way that he presents food on a I mean, like his whole presentation, that's what makes him incredible. And he loves seasonings. And I am not the seasoned person in any type, fashion, or sense. And so I do like seasonings. I just don't, I'm not the creative type to put a whole bunch of seasonings together and make them taste well. It's just like, what is this? So we have gone back and forth about who cooks in the house. But the beautiful thing about plant-based dieting is that a lot of it doesn't require cooking. It
Mm-hmm.
requires like cutting up and putting things together, cleaning things. Like I got that like all day, every day, but I don't necessarily have the cooking part. I certainly love this lifestyle also because I'm eating to live, not living to eat. There's many things that taste well, but some of the things that are the best for you don't taste well. But
Mm-hmm.
I can still consume them because I know that when they go into my body, that they are nourishing me in the best way. And so
Mm-hmm.
I should say that. So I have a question.
Yeah.
What's something you learned about love and patience through this plant-based journey?
That most people, including myself, sometimes don't have it. In a nutshell, we say we love, but we really don't understand what it means to be patient. And you really can't be in a partnership and not practice patience and understanding. And that everybody has their own journey. We talked about bringing the two together versus one being what they're going to be and you being what you're going to be, and how that works. And just like the divine masculine and feminine, or being emotional and feeling everything, in that you still have to use logic. You have to use logic. So I guess some of the arguments that we have is, oh yeah, I'm feeling this way. I'm feeling this way. But look, I can show you the ingredients on the back of the package. So now use your logic, read it, go and Google it, and then say, you know what, hey, what you were feeling was actually right, you know what I mean? Because I actually did research. So the whole time the patience is, am I patient enough with her to actually come into class or come into school and actually do the work in regards to feeling a certain way about a product or whatever, and then doing the research about it, and then actually making the changes necessary. So it's kind of like, hey, I want to be a real estate investor. I want to be this, but I don't want to watch videos. I don't want to learn how to, buy the property, secure the property, rehab the property, refinance the property, pull money out of the property, find contractors to do things. I don't want to do any of that, but I like what real estate investors, their lifestyle or the money they make, extra income on the side. Well, that's great that you like that, and that's the way that's making you feel, but you have to be able to think your way, be able to put the actions, behind what's making you feel thing, and that's the bringing the divine masculine and feminine together. One, being able to think it and see it, and two, being able to actually go out and make it happen. And so that's where the patient has to come in when you're talking about eating and dieting, because a lot of people feel, yeah, I feel like that's the right thing to do. And when I eat like that, I feel so good. But do you have the logical mindset to actually put the work in every day in, day out? You're talking about buying groceries, planning, maybe going to supermarkets and fruit markets and all of this stuff and picking through it. And then let's not even get into the clean 15 and the dirty dozen. Let's not get into alkaline versus hybrid. This lifestyle, when you come into it, and that's why a lot of people don't come into it. It's a lot of time that needs to be dedicated to it. So patience has to exist in it. If you don't have patience, then you will ultimately lose love, because you'll be trying to hurry up and get there, and this is not a race. This is definitely a marathon. You got to pace yourself and every day. So yeah, I think I'll stop right there. Yeah.
If you could go back, would you do anything differently when it comes to introducing the plant-based lifestyle to me?
Definitely not be a hole, or let me see. Yeah, you might have to bleep that out. Be a little bit more sensitive, be a little bit more understanding, and
Compassionate.
compassionate. Have empathy, uh, love through it. Um, Maybe not just bark orders, but actually bring whatever I'm thinking into fruition myself, and not expect a person that's transitioning in it just to get it, But being in the military, in my background, that's kind of, how we rock. We just want to tell people things and, get it, do it because I said it. Hey, this is militant, and you need to get on board, and you need to just figure this thing out. And, I read the book, I watched the documentary, so you need to go and do it, and we need to be doing this. And that would be great. But this is not reality. So maybe make that plant-based meal for you more, introduce you into, different plant-based foods that, that can mimic what you're eating in a standard American diet, that will make you want to transition, and do cost comparison, do things to where you can see yourself transitioning into this lifestyle without making it so stressful. It was chaos, and I feel for any brother that wants to live like that and just wants to do it by themselves, and any woman that wants to live like that and a king doesn't want to do it with them, and they doing it by themselves, or any man that's doing it and the queen don't want to do it and the man has to do it all by himself, because I've definitely been there. But hold on, be patient, and it'll happen. Just walk in your truth, and don't give up, and because this is your life. Something we always talk about is love worth you potentially being sick or you potentially losing your life? And I always say no. I always say the love for a woman and a man's love for his female, or a woman's love for her male, it's not worth you being sick. It's not worth you potentially losing your life. And as I'm speaking, two of my comrades is coming to me, and I'm channeling them, both guys in their late 40s. That's in the spirit realm now, that's transitioned. Both married, both awesome, amazing guys, but no longer with us because of lifestyle, food, alcoholism, all the stuff that I found myself in, So just honoring their souls, and saying, that you're one of the ones that broke up out of the normal day-to-day standard American diet, go out with your friends, 12 pack of beer, shots of Patron. I kind of broke up out of that, you know what I mean? And although it's still a day-to-day struggle, I just want to honor them and do what's right so that way their kids and the people that they leave behind know that there's actually people out here that's going to be an uncle to you, that's going to be somebody you can call on. And maybe we may not be like your father, but maybe we'll give a different insight to life that where you don't necessarily go down that path and have to exit stage left really early on in life. So
Yeah, first of all, I do want to acknowledge your condolence for your two comrades who did not lead the healthiest lifestyle and were young. And a lot of what they experienced, like one transition due to a heart attack, the other transition due to cardiovascular things. And so those possibly could have been alleviated had they chosen to live a healthier lifestyle. And you actually named other factors that I will say for when you decide with your diet how you're going to treat your body, then other things start coming into play and you start analyzing other ways of how to treat your body in the most optimal way. And like you said, alcohol, I mean, for me, it's been non existent for a few years now in my life, and I don't miss it. I don't need to go back to it. It's,
yeah, it's a food.
it's a detriment. People are relying on this to mute them from their feelings and mute them from what's going on externally when they just need to do a deep, I mean, it's not that easy. I'm not diminishing anybody who's on this path to remove anything that takes you away from your current reality. So, because we know the struggle, the current reality for a lot of people is not optimal. And so they're choosing things that takes them away from that so they can deal with that.
Yeah.
And for me, I'm not astrologically wired, I'm fire. So I have not really dealt with feeling other people's energy. Now I am because my nervous system is regulated. But I say all that to say that when you start to analyze what you're putting in your mouth as far as food is concerned, then you start looking at all of these other factors like, well, is this really good practice for me? Is this a really good practice for me? Is this really good practice for me? And then they just start going away because they no longer serve you. They no longer serve purpose in your life. So I should say that publicly, I watched you climb out of that, and I'm proud of you for climbing out of that because I know what a stronghold that had on you. So, and I mean, food is a way that we connect with love. I know that the reason why we struggle with change of diet is because it's connected to people. When we first experienced fried chicken, we was in our mama's kitchen, she was making it, we was laughing, we was joking. So then you have that experience and you have food that's attached to that experience. It's going to be hard for you to give up that food because you are thinking that that is also connected to the experience. When it could be the same experience that you have, but with just different food. This plant-based diet is so accessible and there's so many different things that you can do with a plant-based diet that you don't have to forego those traditions because you choose to transition. But you will find that you feel so much better when you do. And you extend your life when you do. And so that's important. This has become a bigger message to share because it's literally about saving your life at this point. One last question. For couples who are struggling to stay connected when they have different diets and lifestyle choices, what advice would you give them?
Come together, man. This is when teamwork means everything. For that queen, the king hasn't decided that this lifestyle is for him, then you have to make that decision. Do I want to be on his bedside while he's struggling to live, struggling to breathe, hooked up to tubes? And do I want to be there knowing that I could have effected change? I could have prepared him some food that wasn't high in saturated fat, or didn't clog his arteries, or didn't make his heart stop pretty much, or didn't give him that stroke to his head. This is when you cracking a beer, or you cracking alcohol, or you're telling them, go online and play games that's violent. I know we talk a lot about food, what I mean, but it's a lifestyle and it's a culture also. So bring new cultures and new practices into the relationship that's more centered around your uprising, your uplifting, around alkalinity, whether it's buying a plant, putting it in your home, turning on some love music, burning some incense, lighting some candles. Make people's place of living, their jobs, everything, a place of peace, because so much in this world, we're surrounded by violence, murder, just a lot of stuff that is negative and putting out a lot of negative vibes. So when you're talking about food and coming together, just make sure you're doing it with love. You can make plant-based stuff where they say, "Oh, this tastes like she put her foot in it." You can season it up. You can doctor it up. You can follow people online that will make you make your food that's not necessarily the standard American diet taste like soul food. Tastes like when they bite into it, oh my God, this is amazing. I mean, I've had salads. What I mean? All raw foods. It's just like when I'm biting into it, I almost want to cry. And for your person that taste buds don't, trigger off and fire, they're like, what? A salad would make you do that? Man, I need the macaroni and cheese. I need them candy yams. I need this, and I'm like, you just don't know. But come together as a team, man, every day, come up with a plan, whether it's grocery shopping, have fun, turn on your phones and the internet, man, get in tune with some of these people, because there's some people out here doing some amazing stuff with plants, amazing stuff with mushrooms, amazing stuff with fruits, and just watch each other just grow and just love each other in that sense. If you turn a blind eye, king or queen, just understand that whatever happens, this universe is built on cause and effect. So if we turn a blind eye and say, yeah, I know, my husband, yeah, he does this, he does that, just understand that, suffering is coming, illnesses is coming. That's just the universe that we live in. So if you truly love, I challenge everybody to seek deeply and, keep on making those plant-based meals for her, making those plant-based meals for him, working on just converting them, and when you guys finally get it, and then y'all on like a 3-day fast of just all water, and y'all, climbing mountains and y'all doing physical things together in y'all 50s and 60s, y'all just look back in y'all 30s and 40s and say, man, I remember we was arguing and we was talking about what to eat, and you was banging on bread and gluten, and you was telling me do the lettuce wrap instead of put the bread, and we was talking about rice, and we was doing raw wild rice. We was just shifting our consciousness into that which is acidic into one that's more alkaline, and it's a journey, couples, and you just gotta stay with it. But ultimately, like you said, your life is in your hands, and if you love somebody, their life is in your hands. I know we talk about take care of yourself, I'll take care of myself. When I'm saying one, I'm saying that the two should always look at the person outside of themselves as a reflection of themselves. And when you do that, you'll understand that she is my responsibility. He is my responsibility. Every day I wake up, I am in service to her. I am in service to him. If I'm doing great for myself, there's no way I cannot look at my wife, look at my husband, and say, I don't care what they do. The two must love themselves and ultimately love one another with the same capacity. Not, I'm taking care of myself, forget what she doing. I'm taking care of myself, I don't care what he doing. No, no, that's not how this works. And until we grasp that as a community, we'll be struggling. The two have to come together, whether it's money, food, lifestyle, what I mean. And two people can have different, my wife loves to travel. I'm a homebody. I'm introverted, but I love traveling too. So what am I saying? Ebb and flow, like Mallory said, but keep your health at the forefront, because we can make money, we can do all this stuff. means nothing, if you get hooked up to some hospital tools and you fighting for your life. So
And you can prevent it. I feel everything is preventable.
that's a
Look,
fact.
there's a feeling right there, Raymond. Did you like that?
Fact. That's a fact.
I feel like everything is preventable. And so if you can find out, do your due diligence and find out how you can prevent what's happening to you, because you can choose for things to happen to you or happen for you, or or
You,
not happen at all.
yeah,
So
you are the creator of your reality, so you have to manifest that what you need. So, and the fastest way to curing anything is to fast. That's it. That's it. You know what I mean?
but
Well, that's a whole nother.
that's a whole nother
Oh,
thing,
yeah, that's
because even more than plant-based dieting, fasting has been highly instrumental in my journey. And I know that even right now, as you are on a
come
juice
on,
fast,
come
uh,
on,
this is your third
smoothie,
this
juice
is
and
your
smoothie.
third
Yeah,
annual
yeah.
juice and smoothie fast for the month of
Feast.
January.
Feast. Yeah, I'm feasting. All the different colors. Yeah, the purples, oranges, reds, greens, yellows. Oh, it's beautiful. It's amazing. But it's also a struggle too, You just want to chew. You just want to chew because that's why you've been psychologically programmed to eat, 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 eat. So this is my third annual year, juices and smoothies. This is just I'm letting the blender do the chewing for me, and this gives your kidney and your liver and all the different organs in your body a break from just breaking down food. Because once the blender is literally your stomach. So when you drink it, the energy of the fruits and the veggies just going directly into your veins. It's crazy. It's hard to sleep because you just got so much energy. I find myself just laying in the bed with my eyes open, and I work 12-hour shifts and I go to bed 4 hours and I get up and I work 12 hours. All praises to the fruits, all praises to the veggies. Combinations, fruit mixing, all of that stuff. You have to do your research on citrus fruits and greens and the sweet fruits, all this different stuff. It's a science to it. Please don't hop into these practices without, having proper education. But yeah, man, I'm gonna keep this going. Yeah, I'm gonna keep this practice going. Next is fasting, intermittent fasting, but continuing to eat alkaline foods and continuing with juices and smoothies. This is a lifestyle. This is a culture. This is what we do.
And I have, because when I just eat fruits and juice, I get colds because I'm always cold. I'm sitting
There,
in front of space heater right now. So I have agreed to go do a 30-day juice fast in the
in
spring
June,
solstice, after
June.
the spring solstice, yes.
Yep.
But and then do a detox at the spring solstice and align the detoxes at the spring solstice. We got to take care of ourselves like we take care of our cars,
Yeah, and
you know?
sometimes we need a break. Yeah, sometimes you need a break.
So sit down over there.
Yeah.
I love this. I've loved having conversations with you, even though we don't have them in a public forum often. I am the extroverted one, but like he said, when he says introverted, introverted is an understatement. So I'm not only happy that I was able to interview you, but I also am proud of you because I know that being in a public space like this is not your cup of tea.
At all. At
Yes,
all.
but also I should say that I know you have so much to impart on the world. And so, to anybody who's listening, if you would like to have male guidance in your journey, I'm sure that Raymond would be open and willing to assist you on your journey, whether it's through plant based dieting, whether it's through fasting, whether it's through herbalism, because
Mhm.
he actually has brought herbalism into our life. And he's team essential oils. He's grabbing the essential oils. Oh my gosh. If one more essential oil, yes. And so he's really embraced the lifestyle. And I'm sure that he would love to share with you, as he's sharing our whole altar space, just, about his journey and things like that. So where can we find you online? Where can they DM you?
Follow me at Plant Power King on Instagram, Plant Power King. Yeah, shoot me a message, man. Anything I could do to assist you on your journey. Brothers, we got to come together, man. Exercise, start taking care of ourselves. start taking care of our prostates, our joints, start learning a little bit more about plant-derived minerals and that which actually is charging our bodies. Colloidal gold, all these things, that we can need to be ingesting so we can keep our vitality, and stay strong for these queens. So definitely hit me up.
And I've been vocal about this, and I didn't talk to you about this particularly in this episode, but we'll have to come back when we talk about uh, being a parent of a plant-based child, because
Okay.
our whole family is plant-based. Our house is plant-based. Meat does not cross the thresholds of this home. And so, and our son is not where we are. He is on a different part of his journey, but it's a part of my journey too, because I introduced him to processed vegan food, and that's what he's kind of stuck to. So, but is it because he's stuck to it, or is it because I'm stuck to it, or
Come on, come
we're
on,
stuck to it?
come on. Yeah, I would love to talk about, the effects of that the mother can have on the sons and daughters' gut microbiome, and how the decisions that you make in the grocery store every week can either make your sons or daughters vibrate on a certain level of frequency in regards to what they're asking and what they're requesting. Yeah, you literally have to change your tongue palate, and you have to change your gut microbiome so that the parasites and the bacteria inside of you are asking your brain for a specific type of food versus, a more alkaline version versus a more acidic version. I would love to build on that. And I would definitely love to talk about the different stages of just awakening in regards to what you're putting in your mouth and regards to just fasting. The fasting community is growing rampant, but people are scared of it. Oh my God, seek doctors approve it. And it's not really that big of a deal. Breatharianism. I like to bring up some of the people I follow and people that just breathe and just eat the sun. So I know we've been at this for 55 minutes, but we'll definitely come back. Maybe I'm not so nervous next time. Vlog coming soon. End of 2025, I'm getting the equipment. It won't be too much talking. You'll get a chance to see inside of my life, what I eat in a day, my real estate journey, my life journey, my sports betting journey. All of the fun stuff I like to do is just great and fun, awesome, amazing. Have fun while you're on earth. Life is short. So we're here to party it up, understand what this is, take care of ourselves and our loved ones, and then next thing you know, you blink, you up out of here. So let's do right by ourselves while we're here. Definitely. But it was a pleasure talking to you, Queen. Definitely.
Thank
My
you.
bestie, huh? My bestie, huh?
Oh, I'm your bestie now. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Someday. Bestie. I'm trying. Tomorrow we be boxing.
It's a struggle. You get when you're 20 years in the game. So, well, that's all for me this week. I'm forever honored that you tune in. I hope you enjoyed that conversation. Next week and the week after, I'm continuing my health and wellness series by speaking to two vegan fitness experts. I'll start with Eric Bell, a vegan fitness expert and personal trainer from St. Louis. It's not a show you want to miss because he is dropping those dimes. Until then, love and peace to all of you. Have the best week. Thank you for tuning in for a Monday Moment with Dr. Mal, now proudly a part of the Alive Podcast Network. You can find this show on the Live Podcast Network website and app, and you can find this podcast streaming across your favorite podcast streaming platforms. If you love to have the visual, you can tune into my YouTube channel, When Mallory Lives, to see this show and catch up on all my shows from the beginning.